Golden Bachelorette Chock Chapple sends sweet message to late mom. By Amanda Lauren. October 15, 2024. The Golden Bachelorette frontrunner, Chock Chapple, sent a sweet message to his late mother, Jill Cobb. She passed away during the filming of the hit reality series, which sent him home. Now he is continuing to honor her legacy. Keep reading to see the sweet message Chock sent out to Jill. Chock Chapple sends sweet message to late mom. Joan Vassos connected with Chock Chapple, and he was smitten with her. They had an incredible one-on-one date in Disneyland, which truly was a fairy tale come true. Things have only gotten better as time has gone by, and he has become a frontrunner who has stolen her heart. Unfortunately, Chock entered the Golden Bachelorette with an ill mother. That was hard for him as he knew something bad could happen at any time. However, he had no idea she would pass while the show was filming. During the Wednesday, October 9th episode, Chock was told by production that his mother, Jill, had passed away. This was incredibly devastating, and Chock knew he would have to leave. All of the men in the mansion cried for and with him over his loss. Yet one of the hardest things was that Chock had started to fall for Joan and vice versa. More so, to have to leave that behind was gut-wrenching. Joan went on other dates, but Chock was in heart. Finally, Chock returned in the blink of an eye, and everyone was thrilled to have him back despite the circumstances. Now Chock Chapple is continuing to send love to his late mother, Jill Cobb. He shared a sweet message to her on Instagram. "I really do miss my mother. She was my rock." Along with that, he had photos of her with his children, her being silly, and happy family snaps. Immediately, followers headed to his comment section. "I'm so sorry, Chock. You and your family are in my thoughts. Her beautiful spirit is still with you. Sorry for your loss. A beautiful person." Many of Chock Chapple's followers noted that she looked like a beautiful person. He clearly adored her, as did his children, and it is still very hard for him to process not having her around. Fortunately, fellow contestant Gary Livingston, who left in the last episode, praised Chock. They were roommates in the mansion, and he had nothing but amazing things to say about him. More so, he noted how all of the men gathered to support Chock when Jill passed. Joan Vasso's mother had also fallen ill during their time there, so it was a lot to handle. What do you think of Chock's admiration for his mother? Does it make him even more charming and endearing? Let us know your thoughts and watch the Golden Bachelorette Wednesdays on ABC. Chock Chapple has quickly become a fan favorite on the Golden Bachelorette, not only for his strong connection with Joan Vassos, but also for his deep sense of family. One of the most emotional moments of this season came when Chock received the heartbreaking news that his mother, Jill Cobb, had passed away during filming. In this script, we'll dive into how Chock's grief unfolded on the show, how he honored his mother's memory, and the impact this tragedy had on his connection with Joan and the rest of the cast. Chock Chapple entered the Golden Bachelorette with a heart full of hope and a mind weighed down by concerns about his ill mother, Jill Cobb. Despite the heavy burden, Chock threw himself into the experience, making an early impression on Joan Vassos. Their chemistry was undeniable, and it culminated in a magical one-on-one date at Disneyland, which many fans described as a fairy tale come true. This date solidified Chock as a frontrunner, someone who had the potential to steal Joan's heart. However, while Chock was falling for Joan, he was also carrying the pain of knowing that his mother's health was fragile. His decision to join the show was a courageous one, but it was clear that a part of his heart was always with Jill. During the episode that aired on October 9, 2024, the unthinkable happened. Chock received word from production that his mother had passed away. The emotional weight of this moment hit not only Chock, but also the entire mansion. When Chock learned of his mother's passing, the gravity of the situation was clear. He was faced with an impossible decision: stay and continue pursuing his relationship with Joan, or leave to mourn his mother. Ultimately, Chock chose to leave the show temporarily, honoring the memory of his mother and giving himself the space to grieve. The men in the mansion, who had developed a deep bond with Chock, were visibly moved. They cried alongside him, showing an incredible amount of support and brotherhood. Fellow contestant Gary Livingston, who was Chock's roommate in the mansion, shared later how deeply everyone felt Chock's pain. This tragic event brought the contestants together in a way that no one could have anticipated. After spending time with his family and laying his mother to rest, Chock made a surprising return to the Golden Bachelorette. His reappearance was bittersweet. On the one hand, the other men were thrilled to see him back, but the shadow of his loss still hung in the air. For Chock, returning to the mansion was a way to honor his mother's memory by continuing to live his life to the fullest. Joan Vassos, who had developed strong feelings for Chock, was overjoyed to see him return. However, there was a new weight to their interactions. Joan, too, was facing her own family challenges, as her mother had also fallen ill during the show. The shared experience of dealing with sick parents brought Joan and Chock closer together. Their bond deepened as they navigated these emotional challenges side by side. Fans of the show couldn't help but root for Chock and Joan. The tenderness between them, combined with Chock's newfound vulnerability, made their connection feel even more authentic. Their reunion was one of the most poignant moments of the season, and viewers could see that the loss of his mother had changed Chock in profound ways. Chock Chapple didn't just grieve privately. He chose to honor his mother publicly, both on and off the show. In a heartfelt Instagram post, Chock shared a beautiful tribute to his late mother, Jill Cobb. Accompanying the post were touching family photos, including images of Jill with Chock's children, as well as more lighthearted moments of her being silly and enjoying time with her family. In his message, Chock wrote, "I really do miss my mother. She was my rock." His words resonated deeply with his followers, who flooded the comment section with messages of love and support. Fans were quick to note that Jill seemed like a beautiful person, both inside and out. The post showed a side of Chock that many hadn't seen before: a devoted son, a loving father, and a man who cherished his family above all else. The support for Chock in the aftermath of his mother's passing has been overwhelming. Fans of the Golden Bachelorette have praised him for his strength and grace during such a difficult time. Fellow contestant Gary Livingston, who had left the show before Chock's return, spoke highly of Chock's character. He shared how all the men had gathered around Chock during his moment of loss, offering him the support he needed. Joan and Chock's relationship was already one of the most compelling storylines of the season, but the shared experience of dealing with family illness brought them even closer. While Joan had continued dating other men during Chock's absence, her feelings for him had only grown stronger. In many ways, Chock's return felt like a second chance for their relationship.